Hello, everyone. You are listening to Heart Conversations with the Women of NOOR, a women empowerment group for women from all over the world. NOOR means light of God, light of the universe, and we believe every woman, every human being possesses the light of courage and hope. We believe you tuning into this podcast. You matter. You are extraordinary. This show is for people searching for that courageous person within us who wants to be inspired by listening to stories of ordinary women doing extraordinary things. And we believe we are all ordinary. I'm Simon Dillon, a realtor by choice, a humanitarian at heart. My podcast is my soundboard. I'm a warrior, a non-conformist, an ordinary person hoping to do extraordinary things. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here. Without waiting anymore, let's dive in and let me hand over to Kalpana. And Kalpana, give your introduction.
Hi, everyone. This is Kalpana here, and welcome you all on this podcast. And it was very nice introduction of yourselves first, Saima. So I am actually a teacher by profession, and I've also started doing this women empowerment recently, and I'm truly enjoying it when women reach out to me and share their day-to-day problems and the way we navigate it. It really feels touching that how everybody go through something highs and lows in their life, but it's all matters is how we take them and then channelize it through a proper channel. That more matters, because I understand, and I truly believe that every life matters and women life matters, and we matter too. So I think we need to first take care of ourselves, love ourselves first, before starting to love others in the family or in the community. And I welcome, first of all, Nisha and Farzana to this show as well. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So, Farzana, since we can go in chronological order, and you're on the left, so why don't you go ahead and give an introduction about yourself and what you do?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Saima, and everybody else for letting me jump on your wagon, because I truly believe what you're doing is really empowering women, especially South Asian women. Women all over the world have their own problems, and they have their things going on, but in South Asia, the family values put the women down, and they just become servers. So we want to take that notion out and make ourselves, like just now what Kalpana said, we want them to be empowered. We want them to be just. We want them to be first love themselves, and then spread the love towards their family, towards the community, towards people that they interact with, and to the whole world as wide. Now, let me tell you about myself. I am actually a student. Always will be a student till the day I die, I think, because I love to learn and I love to share. And that's the reason I'm here today. By profession, I'm a marriage educator, relationship expert, and of course, I've worked with a lot of families over almost 25 years. My experience is more, but the professional life is 25 years. Before that, I was a total mom, mother of 4, grandmother of 8. So it's a learning process, be it home, be it outside. But I want to be here to see if I can be of any help, and if my experiences and the life stories that I have witnessed, if that can be shared and if that can empower more people, especially people in domestic violence situation, especially people that have marital problems, especially not to just go and latch up with a jerk or jerkette, both men and women. Okay, so we'll go from there. That's my introduction.
And
And
before we move to Nisha, I think I will interrupt real quick and just emphasize that that is exactly the reason that, Farzana, I wanted you to come on here, is because we can talk about both sides. Because I think right there, talking about both sides is also another form of empowerment, because it will not only help build, it takes two to create a good relationship, and that balance is absolutely necessary. And I think it's very important to talk about both sides. And Nisha, welcome to Women of Noor podcast, and do share about yourself.
Thank you, Saima. Thank you, Kalpana, for inviting me over. It's It's an honor to be here because it's so what you guys do so resonate with my own career path now. Because I switched careers 5 years back, 6 years back, 2016 to be precise. I'm still living in 2020, I guess. So 6 years back, I switched my career to when I realized I wasn't living to my fullest potential. So today I am a career consultant and a duality teacher, though journalism still remains my profession. So what I do is I teach people to embrace duality and empower themselves because I believe nobody can empower another one.
Define
When
duality.
duality, yeah, duality, because we are all spiritual beings having a practical experience. Number one, and so once we understand that fact of life, our living, I say, would transcend to thriving. That's been my experience because being a journalist for 21 years, I had everything. I mean, I had the financial success, I had the social status, but I was always ill and an emotional and mental wreck. My relationship was with the rocks. My daughter used to call me grumpy. And at the same time, it's such an irony that people would call me a role model for women because they see only the outer me. I'm a successful journalist. I get my bios, I'm going on junkets. So for people to see I'm a very successful woman, and therefore I was called on to, start speaking, and I was called on to give advices to students. But internally, I was such a wreck. My family life was affected. I had no good relationship with my husband nor my child. And that's when I decided there's some alignment, there's something missing in my life. And that's how I quit. And before I quit, I started delving into quantum physics. I learned, it's because I'm sort of straitjacketed. I was just seeing the 180 degree of my life. I was just seeing at the practicality, the physicality. When I started embracing the energy part of me, when I started upping my frequency, that's when I got this internal alignment. And what we are inside is what we are outside, period. And that helped me build my alternate career. So today I still take my journalism with me. I am a writing consultant. I help people write their books, but I'm very selective about it. Only I help people who want to transcend and find their path or their purpose or their higher calling in life. So usually I work with people on their memoirs, biographies, who want to chart out their coaching practices. And while during the practice of writing the process of writing the book, I also try to heal them because once you start writing a book, your old skeletons do tip off the cupboards. So that's how you transform yourself because I really believe words are energy. And that's what made me sick for 21 years when I was writing of rape stories and political upheavals. When I switched to changing my words, I changed. So this is how I spend my time today.
And while you're
So,
talking, I
so
can see
brilliant. I
how.
mean, sorry, Kalpana, I'm
Yes.
interrupting, but
Yeah.
I'm just, just four people right here on this platform, such diverse backgrounds coming from, we're all four connecting from different cities, and just empowering amazing women doing different things, juggling life, work, try, our own journeys, right? None of our lives. I mean, I'm just making that blank assumption that nobody's life is perfect because I don't think
No,
anyone's
No,
is,
no.
it's true.
right?
It's true. And the thing about to say is, while Nisha was talking, I could see what Farzana and Nisha were also saying, that we do multitasking, but sometimes we just lose ourselves. And while we're talking, you were also multitasking and going and checking your dog and a lot of things going on in the background.
Yes,
And that's what life is. I mean, that's
yes.
what happens, right?
I
And
think
the thing is, Farzana is helping all the other domestic issue. I mean, she takes care of him,
Violence.
she helps him. At the same time, Nisha helps all the corporate women. That's what she said, right? She
Yeah.
mostly. So it's like two different the platforms that we just cover, and that's really commendable for both of you.
Like doing different things, but at the end of the day you are out there. And I mean, this is something which I have learned over the past just very recent few years, that whatever it is in your life that you want, you have to give it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you start giving it, it starts flowing back to you.
Let me tell you something that's something I stick to. It's a very old proverb: "The hands that rock the cradle rule the world." So it's very, very important that we, as women, as mothers, as sisters, as women, have a lot of power, because they are the ones who shape. And like they said, that I was always told, and in my all the research that I've read through, and all the experiences I've gone through, we women have a lot of power. We are underrated, and we are the ones who mess, break, or make someone's life, be it our husbands, be it our kids, be it our parents. So we have a lot of power. So we could use, like she said, Nisha, I love the way that you said aligning yourself, having the same, your energy. Yes, very important that we have the same level of energy. If our inside is plus, then outside is plus. But if outside is plus and inside is negative, we come
Yeah.
back and we are sulking in our bed and thinking all the wrong things, and go up and then put a makeup on, and then appear the prettiest girl and the most gorgeous woman, but inside we are broken. So we
Yes.
can't do that. One of the things that I teach a lot, especially women that went through a lot of abuse, and when I say women, there are men also who go through a lot of abuse, but we're talking about women here. uh, you
But
know
I
what we
would
do?
like for you to shed some light on the other,
Yeah, but
aspect of things as
I
well,
am,
just
yeah,
to create that balance.
I work without borders, and for me, both the sex is the same, because we have come to the conclusion after a lot of research, and all I talk is all research based. I'm not saying something that I just heard and I'm just delivering it. I'm just sharing what the research has. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. We are from two different planets. So we have to have our roles. We have to have the way to keep the peace in a relationship, be it just husband and wife. That's not the only relationship we have. We have multiple relationship with men. We have bosses, we have sons, we have fathers, we have brothers. So we have to understand them. And in order to understand them, sometimes what happens is, when I was talking to Simon, sharing uh, some personal things that I went through. But at the same time, the most unreported people that go through abuse are men. Only 10% of men report abuse, while 90% women report abuse. So what you see, domestic violence is always with the women have been the victim. No, it can be a victim both ways. Or
That
two becomes
actually
a victim.
happens, and it's very surprising that women who are actually abusive, because I think part of the empowerment process has to be this balance between the relationships.
Yes.
Because if that balance is not there, irrespective of the gender, you're not going to thrive on the inside as well as outside. That alignment will be missing if that equality is not there.
Just like
Yeah,
Nisha just said.
I think long back, I think that we, especially in the South Asian community, we were brought up in such a way that we don't ask questions, whether it's men or women, and we just adapt things the way they are. We just move on. And when we just take the responsibility, when the life comes to us, and when we just step into the responsible world, I think that's when happens. We're not able to take things. We cannot adopt them, the new belief system, and we sulk in inside. And that's probably the reason I think slowly the path changes, whether it's for the men or women. And that's the reason could be that the abuse or the violence or the depression or the sadness, they all just take place unconsciously within us, and we realize it very late.
No, that's right.
Kalpana, I would just interject on that because it's not with I mean, because I will work with all spectrums of population, be it
Mhm.
I was not just focused on South Asian only, but I had all, name it, and I had it. And from all walks of life, and of all, even the education level, I was a research director. So it was from zero to fourth grade level education, to people in PhDs. You know what? When it comes to relationship, and when it comes to abuse, and when it comes to um, eh, subjecting someone to any kind of mental, physical, or whatever abuse we call it, it's everywhere.
It's
All
everywhere.
somebody did ask me, oh, you think that we South Asians, we have, because we have certain rules and regulations that we say, okay, ladies have to be like this, men have to. But when I came to that, I said, no. If your blood is red, if you have a blood in your system and that is red, all our problems are the same. It's just spooned out different ways.
And that's actually something I myself learned, although I came to the US as a student and I've studied here at UTA, but I still used to hang out with my own, Southeast Asian community. When I started doing my podcast a year and a half ago, and I started in May of 2020, and on my podcast, because the core of Women of Noor was diversity, inclusion, empowerment, outreach. I started bringing in people who were connecting from, just like Nisha is now connecting from Dubai. We were connecting people from all parts of the world, and races, colors, whatever, right? And it was just amazing to realize that I had men coming, women coming, that we are all just so alike. Our problems are so similar. Our happiness, the core of happiness within us, it's all so comparable. And so much has been instilled in us through the cultures, right? And during our upbringing, the distinctions. But they actually don't need to be there because we're all just the same.
Especially at this hour, if I were to speak energetically, the earth is going through a transformation. That's why you see so much of upheaval around, against authority. And that's exactly when I so agree with what Farzana said. You cannot uplift women without uplifting men, or vice versa,
Yeah,
because we are both, the
because it's
same
balance.
two spokes of the same wheel. So
Mm-hmm.
if we say women have been here, practically speaking, if women are suppressed and depressed and whatever, subjugated or whatever, they're not giving a chance because of the patriarchal system down centuries, what we are now concentrating on, Me Too movement and uplifting women and empowering women, or if we concentrate only on that, the cycle is going to change. Already research is showing, there are men being abused. The ratio that is being played up by the media is very less. So we need to sort of
Create a balance.
Nisha, if you
create a
see,
balance, and we need to talk about humanism more than female or male. That's on the practical level. And
if
as
you
far as even relationship, what she said, I so agree with relationship also, what Farzana said. And once all of you, in fact, and Kalpana and you also said, we need to start loving ourselves. And that is the crux of the matter, I guess. For any relationship, if the relationship with ourselves is good, then naturally the relationship with others is going to be good.
Because even for a woman or a man, if they are being abusive, I think statistics show that it is because they themselves were abused.
it's a monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Mostly monkey see, monkey do, and it's a cycle. Where there is abuse in a family, then the son, the daughters, they all take that. The daughters will think it's on very natural to be abused, and the sons will think, if the perpetrator is a man. But at the same time, what I like about Neha, what she was saying, and of course Kalpana was the same. What we are talking, we're all on the same page, Saima, that we have to take care of ourselves first. First, we have to repair ourselves. When we are healthy,
Yeah.
then we can spread healthiness. And when I see healthiness in every aspect of life,
Mind,
because
body, soul.
exactly, and you know that a lot of if you're unhappy, you can even develop cancer because
Yeah.
your cells are not here, and
Health
all this
effects,
chemistry.
the health certainly affects with the
Oh
unhappy.
yes, it supports it because you see, what is oxytocin? Oxytocin is something that a mother gets when she gets a baby. That's why she wakes up in the middle of the night to see if the baby's okay. She gets so much love at that point that she forgets herself and she becomes selfless. All mothers go through that, except a few that doesn't have that thing, that they are not even ever being maternal. But 99% of mothers because of the chemical oxytocin. And that's the same chemical that goes when you touch another person. And when it's an opposite sex, it's a totally different thing. It happens. And you go blind. And when you say love is blind, that's true. That's why you don't see anything in that person. You see everything is fine. And then later on, after 6 months, when the oxytocin goes away, you start realizing, oh, wow. And by that time, you're so much deep into it, and then you develop, and then it goes from there. So that's why you cannot recognize abuse at that point, you know? So we have to first be aware ourselves, us. And when our minds are open, and we, as where we are here, we will have people that are around us that we can educate. And that's what my passion is, educate. You're a teacher, Kalpana. I've been a teacher all my life. I've been a student all my life. So I think this is what we want to emphasize here, that first we have to take care of us. I had a class for the domestic violence ladies. I had 16 of them in my class that went through so bad domestic violence that they were under police protection. Their better halves wanted to somehow kill them, okay? And these women were with kids. And they did not want to talk about relationship at all because they had gone through so much nightmare. And some had endured abuse for about 10 years. Some have done for 15 years. It was not like yesterday it happened. And because it's a cycle, it takes a long time. It takes a woman 7 times she will leave the house and come back to the same person. Although she's been abused, but she'll go back. And I'm not talking about uneducated people. I'm talking about doctors, lawyers, unaware people, educated people.
Because people don't understand that the core of life is happiness. People don't pursue happiness. People will pursue money. They will pursue fame. They will pursue success. They will pursue everything, but they will not pursue happiness.
In our case, we also have this one stigma. What will people say? What will families say?
That's the biggest thing, right?
What will people say?
That's the biggest taboo.
How can I face my community? How can I face my family? What will my granduncle say about me? What will happen to my daughter? They don't think about what is right for me. They think
and that's
what's
not
right
just in our South Asian culture. That is in all,
like I said,
cultures across the spectrum.
Yeah, but we, as there's also been a study that Asians, not only South Asians, Africans, and Latins, we're more like a community-based people, whereas the Europeans always have been one unit. That has been a study. So they are more open, and that's why we are now becoming more open because of the global connection that we have now, internet, and we're more aware, and we are coming out, like you were speaking, Nisha, that we are coming up, and there's an upheaval because we are getting more awareness. We are getting that power, which is now making like a storm out there. How come these women are becoming somebody else now? Because we always have been a patriarch society, and generations and generations, it was all the man was right. He's more powerful, but physically, the woman is more powerful because she has more sense of endurance. She has more power in herself. We only have to display it.
The problem, I guess, it lies because for any abuse to go on, or for any subjugation to go on for a long time, for any transformation to happen, we need to stop lying.
Truth is so powerful.
Women. Yeah,
but people don't indulge in truth.
Yeah, we live on the crutches that oh, my husband's not allowing this, my kids are not grown up, or we always blame or give an excuse of the external.
We are victims of our own mind, right?
Yes,
we are permanent victims. Victim of this, that.
When we want to change, the moment we decide I want to change, there will be a way out. That's why Farzana said people keep coming, educated people keep coming back to the same relationship because they cannot see the pattern that they are living in.
Now, first of all, those people that are being abused are very much victims because their minds have been twisted. They have been subjugated into kind of slavery. They don't understand better. Even if the door is open, they will not walk out because they have fear instilled in them. But this is just another part of what we are talking about. But let me just tell you something. When we have these, like Saima has taken that step of coming and empowering common people, because when you go to a professional, you feel, oh, you know what, I don't know. But when common people talk about themselves, when common people come out and, you feel more connected. So when I was talking about those 16 women, actually I worked with them for 3 months. At the end, They all were liberated. They felt so good. They said, no, we are not against, just because one man did something wrong to us, we are not going to be against all the men. Because at that point, didn't want to even see a person. So that was my victory. And that is why I want to come and talk to people that if you have been in any situation, don't be afraid, because you have the power. Nobody has power over you. You have to decide to do what you want. And that's my message.
The
Absolutely.
other perspective, even Nisha, because I know we're talking about women being abused by men, but Nisha also does like cooperative, that she helps the professional women empowered, right? So sometimes in the corporate world, Nisha, I've seen that one woman pulls other women down.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
If it's too much vocal, they cut you down.
But we do that across the board,
Across
Kalpana.
the board. That's across the board.
Yeah.
So
It's
how do you just empower them? I mean, this, if you can give a little insight, because on a positive note, because this does exist. I know we've talked about patriarchy exists, but at the same time, like we're talking, women just pull the other women down as well.
Oh,
That's the
yes.
insecurity part, that's the insecurity part that comes in. And that's exactly why we need to talk about our purpose. We need to have a purpose in life. Women with a purpose will never pull another woman down. For a human with a purpose will never pull another human down. Forget women.
Yeah.
Because you're so engrossed, you found your path, you found your calling, you are invested in that. There's so much of joy that it gives you, that that's the fuel that keeps you going. When you have nothing better to do, you feel, you always have to look behind and see who is looking over your shoulders, who is going to pull that rug under your feet. So that happens when you are lost.
Hmm.
But so many of the women, Nisha, so many women are always worried about, okay, if I do this, what will my group of women say? Nobody has the courage to be authentic. No, people would rather just keep living those same awful, terrible lives instead of fighting for their happiness.
You just have to stand up for your own self. And this
But
is what I think.
where do you instill that courage for women to stand up for themselves?
See, that is where I would say duality comes in, because that was my life even. You know, I always wanted to be an author. As a teenager, I always wanted to be an author. But I thought, okay, writing is not going to give me money, so let me jump into journalism, which is the closest field. And I was a miserable wreck. It took me 21 long years to stand up, erect my spine and say, okay, I can do it this way. But it happened only when I realized I would go to all the seminars. I would listen to all the motivational speakers. And this is why you say inspiration and motivation are two different things. Now, people listening to us today, they might get inspired. Oh, three women sitting and speaking, and they feel boosted up, and today they're going to be all fine. 2 days later, their inspirational level will come down, because motivation is something you need to cultivate yourself.
Right.
Motivation is like a muscle that you need to
That's
cultivate, self
beautiful.
motivation, right? So, inspiration, you get it.
So,
If you need to
Nisha,
inculcate that, you need to be self motivated. You need to have that in you to say that I need to change. I
my
need
life.
to do something. My life. Yes, there is being selfish. There's no word called selfish. Only if you be selfish can you be selfless.
So, when I started Women of Noor in the beginning, Women of Noor was started early 2017, and when I started the group, I had to fight with people. When I would post something talking about self-love, loving yourself, I actually had to fight people, because people would feel that loving yourself is a very selfish notion. And it's not. When you love yourself, and Kalpana and me, we always talk about this on our radio show, that when you love yourself and you fulfill your glass to the rim, you are
You
able
spill out.
to just from the overflow, you flourish everything that is around you with abundance and with love and with all these positive things you just said earlier, right? Are the words inside our brain, all those words, every thought, everything that is going on in our head every word matters. And as we go into the last 8 minutes of our show, the time flies when you are having fun. I would like to give, especially Nisha and then Farzana, a few minutes to just talk about, Nisha, for you, talk about the books that you have written, to talk about where my audience can where our audience, you are on Women of Noor, where people can reach you. So how about we give you the platform to, give you a couple of minutes to just, empower others.
Okay. See, number one is I can only say they have to empower themselves, because I strongly believe, again, it comes from my life, because I was like saying, I went to a lot of mentors and coaches, and until I realized I want to change, I didn't change. So I believe we are not gadgets or laptops, plug in and get empowered. I need to cultivate that motivation to change. So my three books, what I've written also is on those, and thus on the same matter. My first one is about having a purpose in life. It's a story of any middle class. I would say, why I'm saying middle class is because we didn't touch upon this topic here. For any woman to stand up for herself, she needs to be financially free. First comes financial independence, and then comes financial freedom, because I was financially independent a woman for 21 years, but I never had the financial freedom. They're two different things, because I was earning, but I did not have that courage. I did not have the know-how, and I did not know how to spend my money. I always sought permission to spend my own money. I think this is also a reason for many women, especially again for Asian women, because who comes from this patriarchal, families. You think you need to have your husband's permission to spend your money, or or your father's permission to spend your money. So financial freedom is very important. First stand up, have financial independence, and then financial freedom, and then find your purpose. That's my first book. Second one is called Step Out and Step It Up, which talks about duality. While to create the life that you desire, for example, you want to create the life that you desire, you want to be happy in life, you want to have the job that you want to have the relationship that you want. It's always two process. You step out and take all the physical practical actions that are needed. You learn the skills, you hustle, you network, you do all practically whatever, physically whatever is needed, you do that. And at the same time, learn to master your energy, keep your vibrations up, because anything and everything that we want is always already available in the quantum field. It's all about you tuning in and getting it in. So
There's
that
a quote from Rumi which says that whatever you want already exists within you.
exactly. So that's called Step
And
Out
one
and
good
Step.
thing I like, Nisha, when I was reading your website and going through your story, you said, which is I really liked it, is when you got motivated and when you really understood that you tuned into these things. So you saw the people around you were narcissists and everything, but suddenly everything disappeared. So
Yeah.
I like that kind of notion, as if that's very good how the perception has changed, because you had so much different insight about the life and how you can tune yourself. They were still existing, but you still disappeared in your life, from your
Yeah,
life.
because I stopped blaming them.
Yes, you
Other,
got out of the victim mode. And
yes,
that's the game changer right
that is
there.
it.
You're not the victim. You are going to take,
And
your own life in your hands, and you are going to be, the architect of your own life. You are going to write your own story, and you are going to define where your destiny is going to take you. And Nisha, I'm going to let Farzana come on here, and the final words for women who are listening. Anything that you would like to say, please go ahead.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all here, being here. Just talking to you guys just uplifted me a whole lot more. No matter how much you know, no matter how much experiences you have, but it's always nice to talk it out. One of the main things that I always say is communication. We are all social birds. We were created as social beings, and we need to be always in communication. And like I said, when we talk about these things, although we may be knowing, we may be reading a whole lot, but when you come out and you talk your inner self, you feel happy, you feel satisfied. My one, the thing that I do most is when I meditate a lot, and I just first of all, being thankful for who I am, for being able to wake up every morning and be able to do something, and then spread the light. If you know something, spread the light. If you can do something, maybe just open the door for somebody when you're walking into a grocery store.
Just
Maybe
smile.
just smile. Oh my goodness, the smile has the most power. Just
Yeah.
smile at people and look at them. Just say, give a genuine compliment. You don't have to give if you don't believe in it, don't do it. Just keep your mouth shut. But if you see something nice, say it. Don't keep it back. That
And
one word can make such a difference in other people's life. And always be positive. That's
you
my
know,
message.
if you just do this,
Yes.
it
Yes.
changes your whole chemistry and your body language. Everything just changes.
I always go wherever I go. If I'm standing in a line, I try to start a small conversation. If I see the other person doesn't want to talk, I'll shut up and move on. But if they want to talk, sometimes people just tell you the whole story. And then after that, I've never seen these people again. But I know that it made a difference in someone's life that day.
Absolutely. So,
That day.
Kalpana, your final words before we end the show?
Yes, I'll be a little short because I know we always say this on our show that the first thing, which I already said in the beginning of the show, is love yourself. And I know for some people, and I really was inspired with how inspiration and motivation is totally different perspective. It's how you connect it, and that's something even I agree and believe that, Nisha. So again, I would just say that just love yourself. It will take a time, and if you still want to be in the relation that you want to be, because some people don't want to break for whatever reason they have this baggage bad, so that's okay. But then always respect yourself and don't be victims of your own mind.
Well, that was wonderful. And I'm so grateful, Nisha, Farzana. I'm so grateful to you guys for being here. Kalpana, always. You can also listen to us on Radio Caravan, 104.1 FM and 700 AM on Thursdays from 2 to 3. And I would like to end the show. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time out of your day
Thank
to
you.
hear what was shared on today's
Thank you, Nisha.
podcast.
Thank you, Farhana, Farzana.
Thank you, everyone.
And I'll see you tomorrow, Saima, at the radio station.
Absolutely. We'll see you tomorrow. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you for watching and thank you for being here. And we appreciate your support. If you would like to be on the show and you have a story to share, you have the courage to talk about your journey, we would love to just message us, Kalpana, myself, anyone. And thank you.